Warning, this podcast is intended for consenting adults. We're talking about all things non-monogamy, which means some of our conversations are going to get down and dirty. Please know we are not professionals, and these are strictly our views and opinions and in no way represent the opinions of our employers. We respect others' opinions as we know everyone in the world of non-monogamy does it differently. Hope you enjoy. Hello, my salacious friends, and welcome to another episode of Pinky and Ava's Pajama Party. I'm your host, Ava Moore, and I'm here with my soul sister, Pinky Greyman.
Hello, everybody.
Happy International Women's Day, Pinky.
Oh my God, my pussy is like vibrating, and
When is your pussy not vibrating?
I love it. So I actually wrote a poem, and if anybody wants to check it out, it's gonna be there, and it's called Goddesses, International Women's Day / Goddesses Day, because I feel like we have so much power and we need to embrace it.
We do. And you can find her poem on Instagram at Polypoet. We're saying Happy International Women's Day because we're recording on this day. This episode will be released later this month. But I think it's very fitting that we have an awesome woman here with us today to help us celebrate. And that is the Chocolate Fox.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
beautiful.
I just want to know, how is your pussy vibrating?
Oh, it has the sensation of pulse,
Okay.
that kind of feeling, like when she's excited.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
I do.
Okay, so that's kind of thing. So it's just to have you around and all the talks we've had prior to and what makes her happy or not, that kind of thing.
Her pussy's constantly vibrating. I'm surprised it doesn't just shake right off her body because. So anyway, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So just for a little context for our viewers, Chocolate Fox is a friend of the podcast. And she is also a friend of podcast guest Hot Mama and PD, aka Nirvana Lover. Aren't we fans of both of them?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We love them.
Very lovely people.
Hot Mama actually introduced me to Chocolate Fox, and I introduced her to PD.
Yes.
So that's how it goes. Sharing is
my
caring.
God, I love that.
So we'd like to start off this episode by you sharing with us a little bit of your journey into non-monogamy, and then we'll take it from there.
Let me start at the beginning, right?
Start at the very beginning and walk us right through.
So it started when this guy I was dating introduced me to swinging 30 years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God, you were a baby. Was it even legal for you to be there? Jeez.
Oh, I was like 19,
Okay.
18.
Wow.
And I mean, it was great. The first time was a little bit scary. Then I discovered that I like to be watched. So that made it even more fun. And then one day he threw me in a hot tub. Well, not literally, but put me in a hot tub with a female. And that was the first time with a female. So that was fun. And after that, it was just lots of good times. And then when we kind of took a beat and slowed down on going to parties, I realized that I couldn't date just one person. So back in those days, not that I'm old, but back in those days, they called us players.
Ooh.
There was no monogamy, non-monogamy, polyamorous, or any of that. We were just players.
Nice to meet you, player.
I hope you wore that badge proudly.
I do.
Yes,
I absolutely do.
You should.
And, it progressed. Had a kid, kind of slowed me down for a little bit, and little by little kept going, and had a couple of relationships along the way, and the ones that were not open did not work at all. And the two that I had that were open, that were long-term, I only count long-term, I don't count less than a year. The two that were open, they lasted a fairly good period of time. And then, then I started meeting all these different people. I started joining different groups because I'm a social person. So I had to be out and about and, see people do things, meet new people. And I had known about polyamory from before, but never really applied it to myself. I was just like, oh, I'm just a swinger with multiple partners.
Oh,
you
I
know?
hear you. That's how I was for the longest.
And then I started talking and I was like, I'm solo poly. Solo poly. Yes. Poly solo, whichever way. Because I liked it. I liked being alone. When I say being alone, I liked being my own person. I didn't have to answer to anyone. And then I could just meet up with whoever I wanted to meet up with at that point in time. Because everyone had a different purpose. There are those that you just hang out with at home. There's those that you go out and you dance with. Those that you go to the movies with. And those that you just have sex with.
Yep.
And
We love them all.
we love them all.
Yep.
Variety is the spice of life.
It definitely is.
I mean, and I totally get what you're saying in terms of solo poly. You want to maintain your identity and do what you want, but it's great having these wonderful people around to do all these amazing things with.
Exactly. And it's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun. And then, of course, you had that crossover with the BDSM group. And I started out, so we're not going to say I tried to be a slave. This person that I met off one of the websites told me I was going to be his slave, and I didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh.
So I went to meet him, and he started describing to me what he was talking about. And I was like, you got the wrong bitch. I turned around and walked the fuck out.
Good for you. Wow. I'm impressed, I have to say.
Yeah.
And, because it was my first foray into it, I didn't know anything. So when I was going to the different events, I kind of watched for a little while, and then I would bottom for certain people, those that I felt comfortable with. And then I kept doing that for a while. I wasn't interested in being a top or being a dom or anything like that. And then one of my poly friends, when we met up, he said to me, he's like, why are you bottoming? He goes, you are a dominant person. He goes, you're a dom. Why aren't you on top? Next thing I know, I was on top. And
That's where you stayed?
that's where I stayed.
Well, it's funny because in everyday life, I'm a dominant person. But when it comes to in the bedroom, I just want to give all of that up and I'm a bottom.
And you see, that's the thing, though. Like when I was working at that time, the job, I was a dominant person. So I enjoyed, just being able to lay back and relax and enjoy it all. And then, something just switched. And I was like, all right. So there are certain people I'll switch with.
Sure.
But in general, we're all on top most of the time. So then, you start buying stuff and you start figuring out what you like. And there's always people that, oh, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, but I want you to peg me. Then go fuck yourself because I'm not doing it.
That's your boundary?
No, I'll peg somebody.
Oh, okay.
But no, if they're hounding me just for that, I'm like, forget it, So the more I got into it, I realized that I liked it both, and I just kind of worked on the aspects that I liked, giving, receiving, meeting, enjoying. And then that's pretty much it.
Would you consider yourself being a switch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's how I define myself. I'm a switch. And I like giving power, and then I like taking it away from you. And you have to be okay with that for me to be engaging with you. Because if I wanted to take power away from you and you are resisting, that's not going to flow.
But she's never going to flog anybody's ass or anything like that.
I don't
It's
like
more
that.
of a verbal,
No, when I'm riding you on top and you're trying to move, I'm like, you fucker, stop moving because I wanted to ride you right now. Okay, you had your fear. Now it's my turn.
oof.
Yeah, and they know, like, I literally bring their hands up because what they do is they're trying to grab my ass and they're trying to maneuver me and whatever. And I'm like, you'll get to it, but let me just do me first. Let me just climax. And then after that, you can do whatever fuck you want. But then maybe I'll take it back again because I wanted to progressively grow and whatever, right? So the person who is with you needs to be able, and that's what I love. I wanted to bring that point where what I discovered, the people that are in it, that are open, they can flow with ease.
Yes,
with
they
no
can.
restrictions. They just feel you and they go with it without trying to channel you just like one way. It's so fucking amazing.
And they're not afraid of giving up the power from time to time, no matter how dominant they are themselves.
Yes, definitely.
Even though they may not let you beat their ass, they are giving up the power so you can ride them and give them pleasure. Now, when you say you take the power, Pinky, are you taking the power for your own pleasure or for their pleasure?
My pleasure, motherfucker.
That's-
Poof. Who gives a fuck about them at that moment? It's all about me.
Okay, because I was asked to actually top somebody, and obviously we all know I'm a bottom, hardcore. And my first instinct was to say no. And since that opportunity was given to me, I am like interested in maybe wondering if I want to explore that a little bit. But it wouldn't be for my pleasure, it would be for his pleasure. So what do you suggest?
What do you mean you topping him would be for his pleasure?
He's the one who wants to be dominated by another woman. So like, it's not for my ultimate goal is not for me to have my orgasm, but to give him pleasure in topping him. Like he wants the experience of being topped.
Only sexually?
Yes.
I think there's more to it. I think there's you didn't give her a whole picture. I think you have a relationship where there's give and take.
This is not a relationship. This is somebody I met.
I know. And physically, he wants you to top him.
Yeah.
But there's a relationship there, right?
No, it's somebody I've met once.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood that.
So he just wants you to take charge in bed.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was your constant partner who we know. And
No.
Okay, got it.
No.
Sorry.
So you haven't been with this person before at
I
all?
have never been
Okay,
with this
okay.
person. And we were talking and he was interested in me topping him.
Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I found it interesting because I've never switched. So I was like, do I want to open my horizons and try that? But like I said, for me, and maybe I'm perceiving it wrong, it wasn't for my pleasure. It was to, give him the pleasure of being topped.
I mean, you can top him in many ways. You can sit on his face until he
I
makes
would like
you
that.
come.
That's fine. I would love that.
Then you can ride his dick until he makes you come.
Right.
I mean, you can peg him if you want until, you're satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those are ways you could top him. Could make him wear nipple clamps while you're sitting on his face.
Ooh. She's making this sound very appealing.
Maybe, I can't think of the name. They go around your balls.
The what?
They go around the balls. They're like ball stretchers.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean,
Ouch.
So
he didn't specify how he wanted to be
He did not
topped.
specify how he wanted to top.
There's a lot of stuff that can be done.
I will say recently I tried wax, right? And my partner did it on me, which I loved, obviously. But then I did the wax on my partner. And every time he twitched, I was like, oh my God, I want this to be over. So maybe I shouldn't bother trying to top somebody.
No. No, you should.
Yeah.
You should
Oh,
try it,
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, just because he's twitching doesn't mean anything. I mean, did you twitch when the wax was hitting you?
I sure did.
Okay, so he's reacting the same way you
But
did.
I felt like I was hurting him.
Okay, so then what you do is you get a paddle, and every time he twitches, you smack him.
Oh my God. I love that.
Okay. So with that, obviously you know what you're doing. How is it as a woman being a top? Because I think normally we think of the male being a top. Now, do you top men? Do you also top women? How do you roll?
I top both, and there are many differences. There are men that I top only with in a BDSM style. It's not sexual at all.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that is more about what they want, their pleasure, than anything for me. It's, you get a high, especially when they tell me I can smack certain parts as hard as I want. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to try this. So that can be fun. With females, it's the same thing. It's usually non-sexual for me when it comes to the BDSM part. Sexually, that's a lot of fun too. There are very few men that I have topped that mix the BDSM and the sexual part together.
Mm.
So I tend to keep them a little bit separate, especially if it's like the guys that I top in a BDSM style. I have no interest in having sex with them. I have no interest in seeing their dicks hard.
Interesting.
I mean, they get hard when I'm beating the crap out of them.
Sure.
But I have no interest in even playing with their dick. It's not sexual for me at all with
wow.
them.
So it's about their pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about.
It's a creativity. That's what I have in my notes, which I wanted to point out. It's misconception about female dominance in BDSM and how power dynamics in BDSM different from traditional roles.
Yeah.
How we perceive and exactly where you went by yourself with that.
And like I said, there are a couple that, when I've gone to different events, have come with me as a sub. But that was also a sexual relationship. So we kind of mixed it in and it worked out really well. But again, I guess I was attracted to him, or maybe just the way it started. It
evolved.
It kind of evolved to a better, to that situation. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, topping them sexually for me is okay. I like to be dominated sexually.
Me too.
But I will
Me three.
I will ride someone, I will sit on their face, I will do all that stuff. And for me, that's just regular sex.
Sure. It's just part of mixing it up.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have a vibrator in their ass and you're making them eat you out while you jiggle it around in there and stuff like that, that can be fun too.
That's a little more toppy.
Yeah, that's a little more toppy.
Well, I'm waiting for you to top me, just saying.
I have a question that I think our audience might have. Do you have any advice for women who are curious about becoming a dominatrix in the female world? Where would they start?
Well, they can start by, if they are involved with any communities where they live, I would definitely start by seeking out the female tops in that area and getting to know them. I am part of a femdom group, and myself and another lady, we're co-leaders. So we have been organizing like high protocol tea parties where the subs have to do what we tell them to do. They have to do it the way we want, or they get punished, and different things.
Wow.
Then we are also doing classes. So we have a class coming up. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up. But we're also doing classes for female doms who may not be well versed in certain areas. Like there are those who, I think the class was high protocol because that one, she wanted a high protocol class. But there are those who are not sure how to peg someone or how to do it without causing damage, or I guess,
Sure.
the safest way. So one of the doms, she's been around forever, and she has taught that class. She taught it to mostly female tops and those of us, the femdom group. Then we are also doing a class on, cannot remember it now, whips.
Ooh, my favorite.
Whips are fun, but so many people, do not know how to use them properly.
yeah.
And they're just all over the place. Even paddles and floggers, you have to be careful when you're, aiming at someone where you're hitting, and, really be careful. And there are those who have come in only being topped sexually and now want to try other things. So they still need to learn how to do that. So that's the first thing I would do. We find the community where you live, if there is one, and see what kind of resources they offer. Because I know there's 2 of them in this area, one that I'm a member of, and they offer classes like every month they have a different class. this is in addition to the femdom group. So that community also offers classes. And it's usually like, it's all the different kinks, how to do a cast, how to, whip somebody within an inch of their life, how to do fire, how to, how to do wax, anything that somebody wants to learn. They had one about, oh my goodness, my brain's going blank right now. But when they had like a kidnap class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they just had one with knives and cutting. And they also do, the needles and the bows and the staples and all that stuff. They do multiple classes throughout the year, focusing on different aspects of what people in the community have said they want to know more about.
So there's resources out there.
Yes.
You just have to seek them out.
Exactly.
And find them, but there's plenty of opportunities.
Plenty
more
of
than you would
opportunities.
realize.
Yep.
So what I hear is basically like anything in life, when you wanted to learn, you have to dive in. It's like learning another language,
Yeah.
or learning how to canoe properly, whatever, before you're going to flip your boat and end it up in the water, cold water, which I don't think anybody likes. I mean, unless you do a cold plunge, which I do. Love it.
No, that is worse than BDSM. There's no pleasure there.
There is a lot of pleasure there. But to each her own
Yes.
suits. So what I'm saying is it's like learning anything new. You just dive in and learn, find a community of like-minded people and just embrace it and ride it.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's another thing that I would say.
I would agree with that. Because, there are a lot of people that do things. And when you start talking to them, you realize that they're just like doing things all wrong. Because they're just experimenting in their bedrooms and they're like, oh, well, we like this. So we did this, and this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to hit a kidney and it's going to explode.
Sure, right.
You can't do that.
That's how you're going to end
People
up
don't
in the emergency
realize
room.
that. Right, right. I mean, and with that, I think you talk about hitting kidneys and things like that. I think there's a misconception of, well, it can be dangerous if you're doing it wrong. There's a misconception about the danger, the anger, and the abuse that come along with BDSM. Can you talk a little bit about that and like how kind of debunk that for people?
Well, when it comes to the abuse part, it is something that the bottom wants.
Right.
It is not something that the top, whether it's male or female, has said, you know what, I want to beat you till you're black and blue and you're just going to accept it. This is something that turns the bottom on, gives them their euphoric high, and this is what they want. So they have negotiated with this person, because you don't start doing something with someone unless you've negotiated and you're using safe words, because otherwise then, it can be abuse. But in general, in the community, but again, I only speak in the community and for myself, anything I do is consensual, and it's what they want or what they say I can do or cannot do, I don't do. Now, there are times with special people who are way closer to me that I might talk them into trying something that they don't want.
Oh, of course. Opening their minds.
Exactly.
Yes, I get that.
But I don't do that with just like regular subs.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Longer term
exactly.
connection. Yeah.
More intimate type of thing. Whereas it's just a top feeling where I'm just gonna, get off and seeing them hopefully cry one day. Then,
Do you get off seeing somebody cry?
yes. Which, funnily enough, was not even a BDSM situation. We just had it recently.
Oh, wow. Did your glowing personality make them cry?
No.
Because you do have a way.
No.
I'll never forget the compliment she gave me. The best compliment ever was, I tolerate you.
Oh.
And she's like, no, that's really a compliment. You don't understand. She's like, that says a lot.
Now, a friend of mine, her guy, had talked about getting a Prince Albert, and she had gotten a piercing that he wanted. Well, they had talked about it, and he said, if you get that, I'll get the Prince Albert. He kept putting it off. Last weekend, We went to a tattoo parlor and there was a piercer there.
Ooh.
So I said to him, "This is your chance. You get to
Nice.
have your pierce." And then the guy was like, "Oh, I don't do that here. Da 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 da." I was like, "Well, what do you do here?" He goes, "I can do his nipples." So I looked at him and I said to him, I said, "You get both nipples pierced. We'll forget about the Prince Albert for right now."
Oh.
And he was like, "Yes." And all of us were shocked because we were just like, and my friend, she's looking at me and she's like, "Fox, are you sure you want to do?" She goes, "This is my decision." I was like, "Listen, I just made a suggestion. He agreed to it." So,
You persuaded him.
so he got the first one pierced and she was like, "He actually went through with it." So I walked over there. Oh, it was bloody. And he had tears coming down his eyes. And I just was so, so happy about it.
She really is happy because if you see her face, she is, as we say about Pinky, she's glowing right now.
And the other person that was there, she and I had a bet that he was going to get one and be done. He was not going to get the second one done because if anyone has had their nipples pierced, it hurts, especially for men.
Oh my God. Can't even imagine.
I have both of mine done and didn't hurt as much as it hurt him because I did not cry.
Well, you know.
But so I walk over there and he's got the tear coming out. I was like, "Are you crying?" So it was a whole big thing. And then, after he calmed down, the guy was like, "So are you ready for the second one?" And his girl, she was just like, she goes, "You can stop if you want to." And he's like, "No." He's like, "No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it."
Oof.
So he went ahead and did the second one. A couple of days later, he admitted that the only reason he did the second one because I was standing right there. Because had I stayed in the other room, he was going to quit. He said when the first one was done, he was done. But because I walked over
Oh
there,
my God.
He couldn't let you see him punk out.
that's right.
Pride.
Did you realize how much power you had over him
Yes.
prior to that?
Yes.
I'm holding on to my tits as we speak, and I cannot even imagine. And they are so sensitive.
Oof. Yeah.
Ouch.
It was fun.
How about piercing in the clit? Ouch.
So she has it and she loves it.
Ouch.
Wow.
She had it done a couple months ago. And she said it was this girl has tattoos everywhere. She's got piercings in her ear, all this other stuff. I don't think she feels pain like other people feel pain. So keep telling her that she's a sadist and she's a dom as well. So she had it done. A couple other ladies went with her and they got it done and she's enjoying it.
Interesting.
No, I'm not. Don't look at me like
No, I'm not looking at you for you.
that.
I'm looking at you for me.
I thought about it. I considered it, but I don't like pain. So I haven't done it.
You just like delivering the pain.
I do like delivering the pain.
So with that, do you find being a top and involved in BDSM and in non-monogamy empowering, or how has it empowered you?
It is definitely empowering. How has it empowered me? I don't know. I've always been a dominant person. I've always been telling people what to do. It's just natural that it happens in work life, personal life, intimate life.
Good for you.
I love that because I feel the same way. Like it's just so.
It just comes naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when you're with someone for the first time, it's kind of, what are you gonna do? Can this person really take this? Do I have to go soft? Can I do this? Do they really want this? Because they look terrified, that type of thing. But once it's with somebody that you know and you've been around the block a few times with them, you kind of know what they can take, and it just works. And like I said, it just feels natural.
Mm-hmm.
The only unnatural part is learning someone new. So I don't typically like to learn new people, but apparently I keep doing it.
It seems like you do acquire new people along the way.
I just acquired someone new,
Oh.
which we haven't met yet, but he's going to be interesting because apparently he was in a relationship with a female Dom, obviously. Well, not obviously, but he was. And she was too far. That's why it didn't last. And
Right.
they,
Hard.
it was hard. So he says to me, he goes, yeah, we'd get together like once a month and, I'd walk around with panties and she'd have a vibrating plug in my ass. I was like, that's it?
She didn't set the bar very high for you to go over, huh?
So we were talking last night and he goes, so what type of things are we going to be doing? I said, you know what? I think we should meet in person and we can talk about that because I need to see your facial expressions when I start to tell you stuff. Because trust me, panties and a butt plug are the least of what you will be doing.
And was he excited at that thought?
I don't know.
Did you hear from him again? He didn't run away?
He's curious.
He I don't know if I don't think he knows what to expect.
Which is great.
And so I don't know what, and I'm trying to find out from him exactly what happened between him and her, not the relationship, but what they did together
Yep.
to see what kind of experience he has.
Right.
And I prefer to do that in person. I don't like doing that via text or over the phone. I like to be in person so I can see the person's face
See
and
the vibe.
exactly.
Yep.
And the only way I know if I'm going to play with somebody is if the vibe is right.
Yep.
And I mean, so far he seems okay, but we still have to meet and see what happens. I don't know if he can handle it.
See if you don't scare him away.
He just doesn't, just the first couple impressions, I don't think he can handle it.
Okay.
But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt
Mm-hmm.
and meet him in person
Mm-hmm.
eventually
Eventually.
when I feel the time is right. I don't like to be rushed.
When you say so.
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
You got the power.
So,
You got the power.
yes, I do.
Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
We're on the world.
Yes.
Good.
So that should be interesting. That should be nice. And I am starting to get more involved in the community again because I had to take some time off and slow down for a little bit. And so I have to kind of build up the subs. When I say build up, I have a few, but I still want to
Enhance your collection.
exactly.
What is your current dynamic right now? Like
With who?
with whoever you have.
Like, I call people my circle, right? They're my closest people. Pinky has her, like, solid core. Do you like have a solid core or?
Right now, I wouldn't say that I have a solid core, but I have something that's going towards that. And like I said, because I haven't been doing stuff for a while, I've just been laying low. And I'd say our dynamic is mostly switchy. It's back and forth. I can't say that he's always on top or I'm always on top. It's kind of like one of those things you get together and all of a sudden he's telling me to do stuff and I'm like, what?
And you're listening to him?
And I'm listening to him?
Well, listen, as somebody who would never listen to anybody to demand me to do something out of the bedroom, the fact that I do it in the bedroom is very surprising.
And so I don't know how to describe that right now. We'll have to see. And then anybody else that I'm with are mostly just subs. There's no, like I said, no relationship, nothing sexual. And it's pretty much whatever I want to do to them in the confines of what they have consented to let me do.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
So
What
when
about sequence? Like, how often do you see them? And
Pinky likes consistency, right? So that's always a question.
don't you?
I love consistency.
So I love consistency as well, but due to shit that I've been dealing with the past year and a half to 5 years, nothing with me is consistent. And which is why I have to meet people again, because the subs that I did have in the time that I was dormant,
Sure.
moved on, found other people, the only one that's still around, he's a switch. And it's it's one of those things where we see each other all the time at different events or the munches at the meet and greets and stuff like that. And he's kind of like in the same boat as me. He's like single and just, meeting, has a couple of play partners here and there. And so he's always around.
Right. So you were very kind to invite me to a party you had a couple months ago. An amazing group of people. I had
Thank you.
such a great time. But it seems like you had like a really good core group of people that you see them and spend time with them on a regular basis, right?
Yes and no.
Yes and no? Okay.
If we're doing anything, yes, they are the core group.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many different groups that I'm a part of
Sure.
that every week I have something.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be, the girls' night. It could be, a swingers event. It could be a BDSM. There's always something going on. These, however, are the ones that I also do vanilla stuff with. So let's say we are going to Pennsylvania for a random train ride through the mountains that's supposed to be Christmas lit, but it's snowy and dark and they ain't shit to see. These are the people I'm with.
Well, I'm sure you had a very good time, even though you didn't see those Christmas lights, because it seems like you probably all would have just been like mocking it and laughing about it the whole entire time.
And then, we go down to the city. We do, city trips, walk around, have plans, whatever. As a matter of fact, after here, later this evening, we're having a friend anniversary.
Ooh.
With the same core group.
Oh, fun. Fun. See, and that's the thing we talk about. It's not just about the sex part. It's like going out and doing those other things and having those other experiences with our people.
Yes.
That makes it so much more than even just the sex.
That is very true.
Right.
Very, very true. It makes it a lot easier to have fun with them. It makes it easier to be just relaxed and to be yourself.
Yes.
And they already know me. They know that I'm a fucking crazy ass bitch. So they know that if I come raging in the room, they all just like spread apart. But they also know that I'm the life of the party. I mean, I may have to tell them from time to time, but come on, let's face it. You guys have seen me. I mean,
oh, we know.
You're looking at me.
It's not a party until you're there.
Exactly.
I know.
No, but we have a great time. And like I said, they are the core group that I hang out with. We do birthdays together, and it's not always sexual. Like tonight we're going to one of the bars, so there's going to be drinking, eating, dancing, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe sex later.
Sure. But that's not the ultimate goal.
No.
It's just to go out and have fun together.
Well, probably not sex with all of them, probably just sex with one of them.
And that's fine. That's fine. Having sex at the end is good.
Yeah.
So I'm actually coming to one of the groups that you belong to at the end of the month, the poly group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
nice. I will make sure to be there because I've been missing it.
Yes, I will be there at the end of the month.
Oh, that will be fun.
Yep.
I will have to tell our mutual friends that they need to come as well.
Yes, that would be great.
That's awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm sure that the moderator will enjoy that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's a hoot and a half. I think I will not sit next to her, though.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Because you can only tolerate her.
No, because he always has to separate me from certain people.
Oh, you don't want to get me in trouble as the new one?
Exactly.
You're going to give all her secrets within 5 seconds?
Don't sit within eye shot of me either.
Oh, no. I'm going to sit with my back to you, and I'm not even going to look at you because
if we make eye contact, forget about it.
Yes.
It's going down.
Yeah. But it's a nice group. He's very organized sometimes, but it's like a chaotic organization. And he does tend to, I wouldn't say themes, but it's like whatever people want to talk about. And it definitely is very much educational. Like most of the munches are like meet and greets. We're just meeting, getting to know each other if you need to be vetted for an event, that type of thing. but his is he tries to be educational with it, and we talk about how we deal with different things in our personal life.
That's awesome.
You know, my number two is having issues with me because I'm spending so much time with my primary, and number three is upset because I always travel with number two. How would you deal? How do you handle that? How do you deal with it? And then there's a lot of people that have that dynamic going on, and they give their personal experiences, what they did to, you know, to solve it and to make it better. And of course, we always have to remember that what works for you is not necessarily going to work for me
Sure.
or for someone else. It's just a baseline that you have to remember that if you're doing the same thing and it's not working, you have to try something else.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with trying something else because other people are doing it and it's working for them.
Sure.
So it kind of, kind of helps with that type of stuff.
That's awesome. I look forward to that.
How do you find your resources? Like, I don't know, like I'm always drawn to podcast books or anything like that. Do you have any reflection on that?
Same like you. I kind of just search everywhere, go on the internet. I will look to see what classes are coming up. If there's someone that I know is well versed in it, I will talk to them and pick their brain as much as possible. And that's pretty much it. Just do lots of research, and not a lot of people like to do research, but if you're interested in the subject, then you'll do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's the best way. And also to be involved, because there's a lot of stuff that people want to try or want to know about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way to really know about it by reading about it or listening to a podcast. But if you're going to events where this could be happening, or, meeting people who actually do this and you can talk to them, then that's a good place to start as well.
And would you reflect on you being like, how did it actually really like started? I know you talk about your origin story, but in terms of you're really like embracing that fully, how many years ago was it? And the moment when you fully embraced that to now, how did you evolve as a goddess you are? Well, may I call you goddess? Because you're shining.
You can.
Okay, I don't know how do you want to define yourself, but I see that shine and glow, and I call anybody goddess who has that kind of presence,
fine
which
with
you
me.
do.
When I finally, well, I wouldn't say finally, when I decided and accepted that, yes, I'm going to be mainly a top who bottoms every once in a while for certain people, like I said, it came really naturally. A lot of stuff just kind of clicked. And I was like, this is what I was meant to do all this time. Why was I wasting time on the bottom?
And how long was it?
That was probably about 10 years ago. And the only issue is finding the right people.
So important.
Yes, because a lot of people, like those that I already had relationships with, they don't fit into that little bubble of mine where I want to do things to them. They don't do it because for whatever reason, they're not interested in it. They just want to have sex, whatever. They just want to have a wine partner or whatever. So definitely is once I accepted that and I started stepping out of my comfort zone, and that's when I started playing with people that I was not attracted to. And that's where they came from. Because it was kind of like, well, he likes this being done. I want to do that to someone. Hey, can I do that on multiple bases? She likes this being done. Can I do it to you? Yes, thank you. That's kind of how it went. And I enjoyed it. And now I have no problem approaching someone and saying, hey, what kind of things are you into? What do you like? And I tend to keep my stuff quiet at first. And they're always asking me, well, what do you want? What do you want to do? Da, da, da. Don't worry about what I want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you enjoy. Tell me what makes you tick. And then I will let you know if that merges with anything that I want to do.
That's you being in control.
Very, very true.
That is so true, and
That's
I see
That's
that.
very true, because there's no reason for me to tell you everything, for you to tell me, oh, no, we don't want that. No, you tell me, and I'm going to decide if I'm going to waste my time telling you what I want to do.
Well,
I
it's
love that.
funny, when I was at the party you invited me to, I overheard you tell somebody, you're like, I just gave you a blowjob and I don't give everybody a blowjob. Is that part of your control, or is that a boundary for you?
That is
Privilege? Or?
it's a privilege, yes,
Mhm.
and it's a swinger thing. It's giving blowjobs for me when I first started was kind of hard, because you're young and dumb. Men are dirty. they, they never wash behind their balls. Like, do they not realize their ass is right there?
Well, that's why we deal with professionals, and they know they need to do that. Yes.
Exactly. And
Yes.
and now I have evolved into the person who's like,
That is so funny.
if you don't do this, it's not going to happen. But when I go to swingers parties, 9 times out of 10, I am only playing with 1 or 2 people sexually at that party.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will sit on everybody's face at that party.
Fuck yeah.
I love
And no, I'm not going to suck your dick, because your dick was in somebody else who I don't fucking like. I don't care that you had a condom. Her juices are still around your legs and shit.
Sure.
I don't want it.
So it's a
And
boundary.
I don't want to taste plastic either. Now, in the situation like that party, I was comfortable and liked everyone there.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were your people.
They were my people.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem putting any of those dicks in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I have been to parties with him before, and I haven't even played with him, never touched him, was like nothing.
Mhm.
So that was the first time I ever did it to him, and he was just like,
Ooh.
whoa.
Oh yeah, he was
Like,
like a kid in a candy
Yeah,
store.
'cause,
He
like,
was so
this
happy.
never happens. And yeah, I'm just not that nice. I'm not sucking your dick for no reason.
So Pinky was talking to us before about going down on a man, and she has a philosophy, or she heard a philosophy. What is it?
So actually, it's not a philosophy or what did you say? An idea. It's something that I've lived through with our first unicorn that we had shared with my husband. And so what happened was she and I were talking, texting, and I was telling her that, oh my God, I got like 3 different books on how to go down on a man, because I really wanted to perfect that craft. It's a craft. It's just
it's
like
an
everything
important
else you
craft.
learn. She's like, what the fuck do you need the books for? Let me show it to you. I was like, oh! So it was an amazing experience. She came over and we had so much fun. And so she said, okay, so once she was done with him, she had tears. She had saliva everywhere. And she looked up and she said, okay, those are I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 aspects to it. First of all, it has to be wet. Secondly, you have to gag on it so you can cry. You cry. That means it's a good result. And number 3 is you get him to the edge of, you can feel just right at the edge where, like how the blood comes in, and you can feel the engorgement of that beautiful penis, whatever you want to call it. I call it like stallion, whatever. And you feel it and you drop it. You don't let him go down. You don't let him bring him to the area. You just drop it. You go down. So, and also she talked about the movement of your hand, how you got to bring it up and down. That's why it has to be all wet.
Mm-hmm.
Either saliva or lube, whatever works for you. And you bring it down, and like when you go down to the shaft, all the way to the balls, it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And you just work your way up and down with your hand. Also put your mouth on top and just suck the top part if you want, and then just gradually bring it down all the way, your mouth all the way in and then up. It's just so fucking hot. Okay. And the whole idea of like feeling the flow, and I know exactly what happens with BDSM and kink community when you feel, the person does not need to speak. You can feel their body language. She's telling you more or less, and you go with that. And that's what she was teaching me. She's like 3 things: wet, teary eyes, and the respect for his, in this case, a desire to do more or less is required for a really good blowjob. And if you talked before, if he wants to climax, you bring him there, but don't bring him like instantly, gradually build up and tease him, so that's how it was all came to life in terms of learning how to give a best blowjob. And like you said, living it is better than reading it.
Oh yeah, there's no way you can learn from a book. She talks about reading somebody's body. Do you think you can read people better since you've gotten into BDSM?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I read people better now that I've gotten into non-monogamy just in general.
Yes, no, definitely. You can tell instantly when someone's uncomfortable, if they're doing something that they don't want to do. You become attuned to that, and it definitely makes it easier.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today on International Women's Day. This is the perfect way to celebrate that.
Thanks for having me.
We very much appreciate it. So make sure everybody comes to our website, 3shadesofgrey.com. Check out our other episodes, 3 Shades of Grey and now 3 Shades Deeper. And we just want to remind everyone to stay salacious. See you soon.
Bye, everybody. Unless they don't want to.
Then why are they here?
I feel they're here to service me, but
I'm just saying if they don't want to, why?
No,
yeah, okay,
but-
yeah, makes sense.
there's a whole story behind that. So.
Okay, let's go. We have so much to talk about.
I'm only giving you guys an hour.
What am I supposed to bring up?
Just kidding.
Oh, the technique. Okay, great.
Thank you.